And this is the train, this is the Tren Maya that is going to take us all the way from Chetumal, right through, all the way up the Yucatan Peninsula coast to Cancun airport, hopefully. We've got bags of time, but this baby is going to take 5 3/4 hours to get there. It's a beautifully modern station, a couple of trains there, but there's only 2 a day go, so if you don't get this one, then you're in a spot of bother. Right next to it is Chetumal airport, where last night we missed our plane to fly to Mexico City, hence we're on this train now today. Hopefully we'll have a nice ride up. We got our tickets about an hour before. We really struggled with the Tren Maya website. I think if you spoke Spanish you'd probably find it a lot easier, but we never found that little button where you press and you get it in the English language. So we turned up about an hour before, got the tickets really easily. We were going to do a bit of filming, but you go through airport style security with your bags and they weren't too keen on us filming. But the station was beautiful. I'm sure it will be lovely when we get into Cancun airport as well, the station there. And welcome aboard, we are on the move. We have to drop our suitcases down there, so hopefully they'll still be there when we get off Cancun. This is the train. It's pretty standard. The seats don't recline. We do have PowerPoint, so that's something at least, but for the cost we would have expected Wi-Fi. We haven't got that. Hello Tinch. I'm going to do a quick walk down the train. There is a sign to teas, so we're going to a cup of tea there, look, just there. So we're going to see what the buffet car looks like. I'm not expecting the Orient Express, but to a group there going up somewhere. Hardly anyone here, as you can see. So I'll give you a good look at the seats. As I say, they don't recline. They do have power socket down there, and a tray and somewhere to put your stuff, but more like a little commuter train coming into London than a big intercity, and it's only 4 carriages long as well, so it's not even that big. But here we are at the refreshments peak. So it didn't look very encouraging, but there is a menu of food. There's fruit, which is surprising. You don't see much of that in Mexico. Not around this sort of place anyway. Burritos, so we'll give it a go in a sec and see what they've actually got. Well, that turned out to be a tad disappointing. I would say it was quite a substantial menu, but in the end only about 50% of it was there. So I got Teach an apple, I got myself a sandwich and an apple. Quite expensive compared to the station, which was very good value, but hopefully that will sustain us. And this is coach number 1, which I am guessing is premium class, only on the basis that the seats look wider. It's 2 and 1. Also, there's only one person booked in, which would be consistent with the considerably higher price that you have to pay, but the seats look identical. My suggestion would be that it's probably not worth the extra money, but I think there's a plate of food that's delivered as part of the ticket price, but as far as I can see, that's about it, apart from the slightly wider seats. So our holiday has taken us from Cancun in the far northeast of Yucatan, right down to beautiful Bacalao, and then finally to Chetumal on the Belize border. So the question of how do you get back up to Cancun airport, if that's where you're heading home, the question is this good value for money? Well, we paid the best part of 1,000 pesos to get there, which is about £20. No, it's about £40, sorry, £40 each. In terms of value for money, well, it's going to take, as I said, the best part of 6 hours. This is the tourist ticket, which I think is the cheapest. I'll have a look in a minute and put it on the screen for the first class, which I showed you the seats for a minute ago. Alternatives, well, you could take the Apo bus, but it only goes overnight, and it costs about half the price, but you can't get a day bus, so that's one alternative. And I guess the other alternative, I don't think there's a flight, would be to hire a car, and we didn't fancy that for a number of reasons. One, for the driving conditions, but also all the added extra costs of the additional insurance and the fuel, and we did see quite a few police roadblocks, so touch wood, I think this is probably the best option of the lot, but still relatively expensive. So we're just coming into Cancun, about 10 minutes. Looks like we've survived the whole journey. It's difficult to summarise. The whole thing is a bit weird. It's all beautifully made. The stations are enormous, well made. The tracks maintained well. The trains are quite smart, but it's just nobody here. The most it's been, I would say, is about 20% full. So on the plus side, that means there's plenty of room to walk around and you can get on a bus. But on the downside, actually there's no Wi-Fi, no signal, no 4G signal most of the way, so it's been a bit of a digital detox, which is good, I suppose. The food's been rubbish. All there is just that little kiosk thing that I showed you earlier. So I don't know, it's difficult. You'd have to make your own mind up. But the biggest issue, which I think we're about to find out, is that the stations are in the middle of nowhere. So you'd normally expect a train station like a bus station to take you right downtown, but that's not going to be the case here. And it's not even near the airport, which is out of town. So we're expecting now to have to get onto a shuttle bus. So overall, would we have taken this versus an overnight bus? Absolutely, but is it an ideal way to travel across the Yucatan Peninsula? I don't think so. As if to make the point, we've now come off the train at Cancun. I can literally see, there goes a plane, I can see and hear the airport. We're now going to queue all the way down there for a bus, which is going to cost us another 35 pesos times 2 to get to the airport. Why it couldn't have been nudged literally 200 metres further over, I'm sure there are geological reasons, but the whole thing is so unjoined up. It's such a shame.